Hi, it's become a familiar ritual. You turn on the radio or TV or glance at your phone, and within moments you're immersed in a steady stream of distressing headlines. Climate change, war, violence, corruption, broken families, economic anxiety. These uncertain times can lead us feeling battered, weary, and quietly overwhelmed. So the question presses in on us. Where, if anything, can we turn for confidence that life can improve? Where do we find hope in a broken world? Most of us have known moments, fleeting perhaps, when life feels larger than our immediate concerns. We might sense it when absorbed in creative work, moved by an act of generosity, struck by beauty, or gazing at the night sky with awe. For a moment, the spirit lifts. These experiences hint at something beyond the purely material, a deeper harmony, a wider meaning. When people describe being spiritually awakened, they often speak of a quiet conviction that despite the chaos of life, there is coherence and purpose, that in some profound sense, all will be well. As children, many of us sensed that life was at some basic level trustworthy, that meaning would emerge, even without guarantees. That sense may be helped by early emotional security, or by a healthy atmosphere in the home. But it often fades under adult pressures. When we get older, one obvious place we often look to for hope is politics. Now, at election time, hope is everywhere. We are promised better housing, secure employment, social justice, and renewed community cohesion. The hope is that political power can shape a fairer, safer, more humane society. Yet, reliance on politics rarely satisfies for long. Even the most well-intentioned leaders find their ambitions constrained by economic forces, cultural divisions, institutional inertia, or their own fallibility. Politics doesn't always work. Policies falter, public trust evaporates, and disillusionment sets in. In Britain today, disenchantment with the main political parties runs deep. Politics matters, of course, but can it really deliver us from poverty, from mistrust, violence, or self-serving behaviour? Or does it often too much descend into point scoring, into fear-mongering, and the selling of false hopes? Now, another place where we put our hope sometimes is in technology. After all, innovation has transformed daily life beyond recognition. Labour-saving devices, digital communication, medical advances, all have brought genuine benefits. But technology is always provisional. Each breakthrough is quickly followed by new vulnerabilities. As security systems improve, so the skills of hackers and criminals improve. Machines, however sophisticated, reflect the intentions of those who make use of them or abuse them. Technology can amplify good, but it cannot by itself make us wiser or kinder. Now, there's also the modern creed of individuality to consider. Self-reliance. Why not put our hope in ourselves? If we want something done properly, do it ourselves. Take responsibility. Regain control. And for many, this mindset can be empowering. Think positive, we are told. So, this is especially so after periods of helplessness. Yet self-reliance has limits. All of us are finite. We fail. We encounter forces beyond our control. Illness, redundancy, grief, betrayal. In moments of crisis, confidence in our own competence can quickly collapse into discouragement. And at such times, we are confronted with a basic human truth. We need something stronger than ourselves. And this recognition lies, of course, at the heart of movements like the Alcoholics Anonymous, where recovery begins not with bravado, but with humility. People following the 12-step program, whatever their dependency, acknowledge their fragility, their reliance on other people, and the need for a higher power. Shame is transformed into honesty, isolation into community, and lack of control into hope. So this brings us, I think, to an important distinction. Hope is not the same thing as optimism. Optimism expects things to turn out well. But hope, in its deeper sense, does not depend on outcomes. It can coexist with fear, with grief and uncertainty. Imagine losing your job and, with it, your sense of identity. Optimism says something better will come along soon. But if months pass and nothing changes, optimism can curdle into despair. Hope, by contrast, says, I don't know what lies ahead, but I can take steps, stay connected and remain open. Or consider serious illness. An optimistic faith might insist, everything happens for a reason, I will be healed. But if the illness worsens, that certainty can collapse into anger or a sense of abandonment. Mature hope says instead, I do hope for healing, but I trust that my life retains meaning, whatever happens. Hope endures precisely because it makes room for uncertainty. For some, hope rests in the intelligence behind the universe, the laws of order discovered by science, nature's capacity for growth and healing. For others, the deepest ground of hope is the power of love. Deeper love is not sentimental. It shows itself in care that relieves suffering, in understanding that calms fear, and in courage that confronts injustice. Hoping in love does not deny pain. It says not, things will go my way, but it says, love is present even here. Love asks us to act kindly even when it is difficult, to wish for the good of others, and to relinquish resentment. This spiritual form of love wants the best for those who are loved. Now, if selfless love is the source of what is good, then hope rests in the belief that life tends towards growth and fulfillment, even through hardship. Today, many people reject traditional religious images that feel punitive or outdated. Yet they still speak of a life force, a universal spirit, or a source of compassion and love. Some still call it God. Others prefer terms like being, the infinite, the absolute, or simply the source. The language differs, but the intuition is similar. There is something greater than ourselves that invites trust. Having words for this transcendent reality matters. It gives shape to hope. Within many religious traditions, hope is inseparable from compassion and faith. Hopelessness is understood as a form of disconnection from self, from others, and from the sacred, and is addressed through prayer, through contemplation and service. By service, I'm thinking of the voluntary services for the homeless and other practical social action projects organised by religious bodies such as the Salvation Army and the Quakers. The spiritual philosopher Emanuel Swedenborg, writing in the 18th century, spoke of divine providence, not as a distant or abstract thing, but as active in the smallest details of life, quietly drawing us away, if we will, from being selfish and towards what serves the common good. Whether through nature, sacred texts, conscience or community, this divine providence works persistently, if unobtrusively, for our deeper welfare. Even in secular societies, people in crisis often turn inward, reflecting on something larger than themselves, searching for meaning beyond immediate survival, even turning to prayer in a God they don't really believe in. I have been exploring in this video where we can find hope in a broken world and when living with bad news. I've tried to show how we do get glimpses of the transcendence when we feel inspired and our spirits lift. Hopelessness arises when we feel powerless in the face of suffering. But a mature hope does not rest on politics, on technology, or on personal strength alone. These things are important. But mature hope differs from mere optimism, which depends on outcomes. Deep hope grows when we take responsibility for seeking meaning beyond illusion, when we dare to trust that beneath the noise of bad news there is a divine reality of providential intelligence and love worthy of our hope. Thanks for listening to me. If you've been interested, why not give me a like and offer a comment? It encourages YouTube to show this video to a wider audience. If you're interested in finding a better life, you can click the playlist link to my other videos right now.